If I'm in the mood, I love a good romance novel, enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorcycle. Read the third one first. I don't know if I've ever related kind of grumpy sunshine. This was actually my second time reading this book this year. Obviously, this is a romance novel, so that's not going to happen. The maintenance man at her apartment building who's secretly an artist. Hello friend, welcome back to a Very Bookish Vlogmas where I am diving into my 2023 reading challenge. My goal was 50 books. I've hit that. I'm still reading and surpassed that. So we're going to talk about all of the TBRs, the DNFs, the tropes that I loved and hated, and everything in between. Today I'm going to be diving into a romance series that took me by surprise. I accidentally read these out of order. I didn't realize that there were 3 of them. I read the third one first and then realized there were 2 other ones. And honestly, the third one still was my favorite. This is the Brown Sisters trilogy by Talia Hibbert. And these were a lot of fun. I'm not always a huge romance reader, but if I'm in the mood, I love a good romance novel, and these were quite a bit of fun to dive into. The first one is called Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Let me just read you a quick synopsis. Chloe Brown is a chronically ill computer geek with a goal, a plan, and a list. After almost but not quite dying, she's come up with 6 directives to help her get a life, and she's already completed the first, finally moving out of her glamorous family's mansion. The next items: enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorcycle, go camping, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable, travel the world with nothing but hand luggage, and do something bad. The person she ends up enlisting in this whole shenanigan plan is the maintenance man at her apartment building who's secretly an artist. Fun. So the story follows her in Red. She's helping him with some of the computer ends of things that he has ignored because he hates that kind of stuff and getting his art out there in the world. And in turn, he is going to help her kind of complete this list and do a few things that she normally wouldn't do. It's a really sweet story, very cute. One of the big tropes in this book is the kind of grumpy sunshine. Red isn't all sunshine, he is definitely sarcastic, but Chloe is definitely got that kind of grumpiness to her. But the truth is she really does care a lot. She's just dealt with a lot of hurt in the past. Because she's chronically ill, a lot of people just treat her in a way that just sucks for people who are chronically ill. This book does have quite a bit of spice. I would give it maybe a 3 out of 5 chili ratings. I don't know. A lot of people give like a 1 to 5 chilies emoji. I would give it 3 out of 5. So there is some spice in there. If you're not into that, maybe skip this book, but it is very cute. The love story is very cute. Very much enjoy it. What I struggled with in this book is actually something that I struggled with in all 3 of the books, and that is a third act breakup. Sometimes that's really annoying. It actually worked really well in the third book, but all 3 of these books have a third act breakup, which to me is just sometimes frustrating. That was one thing that wasn't my favorite, but it does resolve in a very cute way. So I enjoyed the first one. The second book in the series is called Take a Hint, Dani Brown. Dani Brown is, I believe, the middle sister and very much different from Chloe. So here's her synopsis. Danica Brown knows what she wants: professional success, academic renown, and occasional roll in the hay to relieve all that career-driven tension. But romance, been there, done that, burned the t-shirt. Romantic partners, whatever their gender, are a distraction at best and a drain at worst. So Dani asks the universe for a perfect friend with benefits, someone who knows the score and knows their way around the bedroom. When brooding security guards in fear rescues Dani from a workplace fire drill gone wrong, it's an obvious sign. PhD student Dani and ex-rugby player Zaf are destined to be together. Sleep together. But before she can explain that fact, A video of the heroic rescue goes viral. Now half the internet is shipping Dr. Rugby, and Zaf is begging Danny to play along. Turns out his sports charity for kids could really use the publicity. Lying to help children? Who on earth would refuse? So we've got the trope of fake dating. We've got Danny, who is very much spicy. She's interested in friends and benefits only, but obviously this is a romance novel, so that's not going to happen. Both of these characters are a lot of fun. Zaf is really sweet. He's basically a big teddy bear, very kind, very understanding, very supportive. Just an awesome all-around guy in general. He actually deals with some PTSD and anxiety from a tragedy that happened to him and his family, and so you get a little bit more about his family. We get more about the Brown sisters' family. You get some crossover with Danny and Eve, which you will meet in the third book, which I'll talk about next. So there's a lot of family that's also involved and friends that are involved, which are a lot of fun. It was a very easy read. Spice level, again, I would say 3 to 4 out of 5. We do have that third act breakup, like I said, was not my favorite, but in the end, everybody ends up happy, and I love a good happy ending. The third and final book in this trilogy is called Act Your Age, Eve Brown, and let me tell you, this was actually my second time reading this book this year because I loved it so much. I don't know if I've ever related to a character more than I relate to Eve Brown. Let me give you a little bit of the synopsis for you. Eve Brown is a certified hot mess. If that doesn't tell you about me anymore, then we can just stop here. No matter how hard she strives to do right, her life always goes horribly wrong. So she's giving up trying. But when her personal brand of chaos ruins an expensive wedding, someone had to liberate those poor doves. Her parents draw the line. It's time for Eve to grow up and prove herself, even though she's not entirely sure how. Jacob Wayne is in control, always. The bed and breakfast owner's on a mission to dominate the hospitality industry, and he expects nothing less than perfection. So when a purple-haired tornado of a woman turns up out of the blue to interview for his open chef position, he tells her the brutal truth, not a chance in hell. Then she hits him with her car, supposedly by accident. Yeah, right. This was so fun. It was so fun. I relate to Eve so much because she's very much a multi-passionate creative. She really doesn't like doing one thing. She's actually a musician as well. I'm a musician, but there's a backstory of why she no longer does music that I very much relate to. She's chaotic. She's that really fun, sweet, all sunshine, chaotic energy. She wears t-shirts with really crazy sayings. Like you said, she has purple hair. Jacob Wayne, who ends up being, by the way, one of the sweetest main male characters out there. He's autistic, and he says it. He's very open and honest about it, but he's really funny because he's super honest. He does not hold back. He does not pull any punches. But their romance is very, very, very cute. And together they are like two puzzle pieces coming together. This is a book that I bought. I will be annotating. There are some really good quotes in this book, which surprised me from a romance novel. Jacob has some really great friends, and they are involved, and they give him such a hard time. We get more about Eve's family and her two other sisters. It's a blast. It's a blast. I highly recommend this book. It was my favorite of the 3 books. Also spicy, I would say 3 to 4 out of 5 stars. So if you're not into the spice, you should probably skip this series. But this one was very, very cute. I very much enjoyed it. Okay, now I will give a rating for each book since I felt differently about each one of them. The first book I would give maybe a 3.75. I did enjoy it. but I wasn't as much connected to the characters. Definitely thought they were cute. Loved the representation of somebody who's chronically ill, but it was okay. I would give it a 4. I'll probably pad that. I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. I'd give the second book a 4 as well. And then the fifth book. And then the third book, I would definitely give a 5-star. If I had to put them in order of my favorite, it would be Act Your Age, Eve Brown, Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and then Danny, and then Take a Hint, Danny Brown. That would be my order. Probably one of my favorite things about this series though is that all of them are plus size characters. I try to stay away from romance novels that don't feature a plus size character nowadays. Honestly, if I'm gonna read a romance, I don't wanna feel like crap, and I don't want to have the typical beauty standards that are in a lot of romance. We have a lot of representation. First of all 3 of them are Black, curvy women. They are, for the most part, successful. Eve finds her own successor in her own way, but they're very smart. They are very capable women. I know that representation can feel like a buzzword, but really to me, it just means realistic. What we see on a day-to-day basis. People who are struggling with depression, anxiety, trauma, grief, loss, chronic illness, failure. All of those things are what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And even though I go to books to escape reality sometimes, it is nice to get some books that include something that's a little bit more realistic. Like I said, the only thing I really didn't like about these books, like the one thing that I was like, was the third act breakup, but everybody ends up happy in the end, and that's really all that I cared about. So I would love to know, did you read the series? If you did, please let me know what your ranking of the 3 were. Did you feel the same way? Would you rank one higher than the other? Which one was your favorite? And what did you love? What did you not love about it? I want to know your take on this. All right, friend. I will see you next time. Bye.